Hey guys, this is a Steep with GoddamnFitness.com, your number one for research supplements. Why are athletes using EPO? In the video, we'll discuss what is EPO, the history of EPO, what are the benefits of EPO, what are the results of EPO, is EPO legal, who uses EPO, the dosages of EPO, and what are the side effects using EPO. What is EPO? EPO is proteins that attach to amino acid chains through small protein peptide cells that are used for signaling. These are secreted to the kidneys, generally in a response to the regions of the body that are deprived by oxygen supply at a tissue level. EPO is a protein hormone that is made in the kidneys. Once it is released into the bloodstream, it binds to the bone marrow that stimulates the production of red blood cells. EPO stimulates red blood cell production in bone marrow, like we mentioned. Anemia are common causes that elevate EPO. EPO is the process of using EPO as a performance-enhancing drug recombination with human epinephrine. The history of EPO. The creation of EPO actually happened in 1905, which was based around the idea of regulating the production of the red blood cells. After removing some experiments of bloodletting on rabbits, they've seen an increase in red blood cells. Researchers managed to create a synthetic mechanism of EPO, and the FDA actually approved EPO for use in certain anemias. What are the benefits of EPO? Well, the benefits, I guess, it would reduce fatigue, it increases metabolism, it increases recovery, and improves endurance. It stimulates the blood cell production, adding more oxygen into blood, providing better performance. Clinical trials in 2016 were conducted with 48 cyclists, one EPO injection and one placebo. Although EPO treatment improved the test to maximize exercise, the more clinical relevant exercise testing performance and road race performance were not affected. According to Tyler Hamilton and Graham Bensinger, he said it would almost be impossible to win a race without PEDs like EPO. And he was previously caught using EPO. Bodybuilders claim it can make you more vascular and create more satellite cell proliferation for more permanent muscle cells. There are a large amount of hyperplasia that could even cause plaque leakage. It divides cells fast so it can weaken new cells, where bodybuilders might even see bruises where they should go to the emergency room straight away. There are other ways of using EPO, although it's extremely dangerous, and do not recommend any of this. As they increase blood cells, it dries out almost your body like a diuretic. What are the results of EPO? Cyclists do a manual process of when blood is re-injected back into the cyclist system. For example, if they feel an immediate effect. Your red blood cells carry oxygen. It'll boost their hemostatic system. It will start a cyclist race and it'll boost their status to 2 to 3 points. If you start a Tour de France at 45, you'll probably end up with a 39 if you don't do anything illegal. Is EPO legal? EPO is generally illegal without a use of prescription, as it's used for people with anemia or lung disease. So it can be approved by certain medical physicians, but generally it's pretty illegal. It's completely prohibited by WADA and USADA. Who uses EPO? Besides patients that are suffering from diseases like we mentioned, athletes in a lot of sports have been caught using EPO. From MMA fighters, cyclists, triathlon athletes, track and field, they've all been suspended by USADA and been given sanctions. You can see this on their database. The dosages of EPO, well, clinical trials show that and people who suffer from anemia take 50 U 3 times a week. The dosages tend to change, and people tend to increase it by 25 to 50 from 1 to 4 week intervals. Bodybuilders claim they can eat more and get better pumps, where they took up to 1,500 IUs, which is crazy. So pretty much their measurement is 20 IUs per kilogram, which is their protocol. Guys, this is extremely dangerous, and this is just for educational and research purposes only. The side effects of EPO. Well, Tyler Hamilton during the Tour de France admitted the use of EPO and mentioned a bad bag of blood where his urine actually turned black. It is clear to him that the bad bag of blood was not working. While he admits that he wasn't really worried about his health, he was more worried about being able to compete. Even though they do have professionals taking care of them all the time, it's still a risk. While proper use of EPO has an enormous therapeutic benefit in the treatment of anemia related to kidney disease, its misuse can really lead to serious health side effects for athletes who abuse the substance to win, obviously, and get a competitive edge. It is well known that EPO, by thickening the blood, leads to an increase of risk of several deadly diseases, such as heart disease, stroke, and many other things. The use of EPO may lead to autoimmune diseases with serious health consequences. So EPO thickens the blood to the point where you dehydrate yourself. You could have a stroke or die, and this has actually happened. Is EPO safe? No, EPO is not safe in any way to consume. People have died, like I've mentioned. It's incredibly challenging to administer. The side effects generally high blood pressure, thickening of the blood, swelling, dizziness, nausea, fever, and even death. The bottom line, EPO has been around for a long time now, guys. We've discovered in the last decade, athletes have been caught and come forward with their abuse of blood doping. Blood doping is the real deal, and it does work, but pushes the athletes to the dark side. Corruption and backstabbing occurred. Just look at Lance Armstrong's scandal. It's tough to know how this can be dealt with. As an example, athletes who abuse EPO was rampant. To be the best, you need the best doctors, and you need to do it as safe as possible, and you need a medical team to blood dope the athlete and also travel around with it. High-end athletes are almost like companies. High-end athletes have employees, people to pay on a daily basis. Clearly, with the abuse, it really was a step too far with the Tour de France. Now the landscape is changing with the USADA testing for EPO. And I wonder if they'll actually test all blood samples and urine samples with EPO. That would be a good idea, but I don't think they're going to do it. As Tyler Hamilton admitted, his team advised him to do PEDs for his health, which was a point because it helps for recovery. It can be quickly justified when the sense of guilt disappears fast when you think of the possibility of winning a race, and it's okay when everyone is doing blood doping in cycling. Doctors' orders and cheat sheets have been really easy to do and overcome. Athletes admitted that they have passed hundreds of tests doing this. Blood fusions and blood doping was all the talk between athletes. It sounds strange from an outsider, but in inner circles, it's so obvious that they just discuss these things together, even when they're competing against each other. At the end of the day, these are short-term careers. Athletes try and make as much revenue as possible through their short career, and also people love that they're winning with positive results, which is reassuring that they're doing things the right way. If you get caught and say nothing about other athletes, you would bring down the whole sport otherwise. Corporate corruption is widespread. Academic cheating is all on the rise, and people in the workplace feel like they need to bend the rules to get ahead. Money, fame, power, personal validation is all a part of the human condition, in my opinion. I don't think this will change, but openly talking could help us create new rules to make it work better and help athletes recover a little bit safer and create a bit of more even competition in sports in future. Right, guys, some of the supplements and research chemicals we mentioned, of course, have side effects. Some of them have less side effects. A lot of them are still under research. Most of them aren't approved by the FDA and are listed not for human consumption. Check your local laws by the time you view this video because it might all change. If you like the video and like more cutting edge information, check out our website and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening, guys.